Hi, welcome back to Katrina's Creations. I think this is episode 53, 52, 53, somewhere around there. It'll be on the bottom down here somewhere. I have an Instagram account finally. Thank you, Jocelyn, for encouraging me to get to work on trying to figure out why mine wasn't working. I actually had apparently 2 active accounts and they were like cross-firing with each other or something. But anyway, got it straightened out. So my Instagram account is KatrinasCreations, and I'll put it down here so you can see it. So go over and follow me on Instagram. I am going to try to post stuff every couple days. I also have a Facebook account, which is also KatrinasKnits, and my Pinterest and my Ravelry group are KatrinasCreations. So check those out if you would like, and join the Ravelry group and check out my patterns as well. It's all under Katrina's Creations. So I'm going to start right away with the works in progress. It looks like I've got all of my works in progress in a heap all around me. I don't think I've ever had this many projects going at one time. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, we will just get started with what's in front of me first. So this is my On the Spice Market, and this is where I was, where is it? There. That's where I was last week. I did not go to knit. This is what I usually take to knit night with me, and I didn't go this week. So there it is at the beginning, and it goes all the way up to here. I'm in the fun stitchy part. There's a bunch of these rows that are like this. Get them kind of close so you can see them. They're like little bumpy things. I think Cozy Up with the Stitching Sisters called it the annoying stitch, but I actually like this stitch. I think it's kind of fun because it goes fast. And this is kind of what it looks like on the back. I mean, it's even pretty on the back, but I like the little bumpy stitch. So, and this I am knitting the black, this is sugarcane yarn. And if you watch, I think I mentioned them last week, if you watch Christine Kelly, it's University, she actually did a whole segment on strange yarns, and one of them she talked about was sugarcane yarn, how it's made from the, like the stringy fibrous stuff that's inside the stalk of the sugarcane. So it was interesting. So check out that if you would like to learn a little bit more about sugarcane yarn. So we have that project going on. Then I have my Drachenfels, and I made some headway on my Drachenfels this week. You can see my little stitch marker here. And here's where the beginning is. This is my last section of it's supposed to look like a dragon's tail, I think. That's what this is supposed to be. I'm on this last section, then it moves into a large striping section. So I just finished this last stripe, or the last, well, it's kind of like a stripe. This thing, I finished the last one of those. And this is alpaca, this dark purple. It is so very, very soft. Yeah, it's nice. Very snuggly. It's very lightweight compared to my other Drachenfels that I made. This one is, it doesn't weigh nearly as much. It's not as heavy of a tightly knit fabric, even though it's the same gauge and everything. It's just coming out a lot finer knit, so you can actually see through it. My other one I could not. So that is my Drachenfels. Then I have this poncho that I've been working on. This has been my car knitting. So, and I would have stopped mid-row, of course, so you couldn't see it all the way, but here you can see my stitch marker from last week, and I've gotten quite a ways. This is technically the right side, but I actually like the wrong side better. I just think it's prettier, so that's what I'm going with. But these are the colors that we have so far. It started out in kind of a charcoal, then went to a lighter grayish charcoal, and then to a light kind of tannish gold, and then to an antique gold, and now it's working its way up in the top here to a kind of a grayish gold up in here. It's just starting to change colors again. And here's the rest. Yep, the ball band just fell off. Here's the rest of the skein. Let me turn it this way, you can see the orange. This is kind of a burnt umber kind of color, and this is the color I'm in right now. And then it goes back out to this kind of grayish color, and then it goes back out to a charcoal. So I will be knitting all of this for the front of the poncho, and the poncho actually goes this direction. It goes sideways. So you're kind of knitting across. And so that is my project with my car knitting. Then I have my design shawl. And there goes more of my yarn. I don't know why it is. I get on camera and I drop everything. But here is the design shawl. Last week you can see my stitch marker right here. And I'm doing some striping now, so I've got two things of yarn going at once. It starts in this pale yellow, which is custard. This was semolina. This color here was tarragon, and the color I'm getting into is this color here, and that is brass heather. And this is from Knit Picks. It is fingering weight, and it is the palette yarn that they have. That's very reasonably priced, which is why I bought a bunch of it to do all this with. So this is my design shawl, and I've said it before, but I will announce it again this week. I have not named the shawl yet, so if you can think of a name that you would put for it, put it down in the comments below, and when I finish the shawl, I will be choosing a name from the names that were suggested. You can either leave a comment down below, or you can leave it over on my Ravelry group, either one. And then I will choose a name from there, and whoever's name I choose, they will get a free copy of the pattern. So this is a triangular shawl, and it has lots of different stitches in it because I like lace, so it's got lots of kind of lacy stitches, but none of them are really hard. So we have that going. Then I also have the sweater I've been working on, and I actually, when I showed it to you last week, let's see where the front is here. Okay, this is the right side. This is the back, and I actually, since I filmed last week, have joined the center here. I finished it, and you can see the center seam right here, and I have a sleeve right there, and then we have the other side, which is what I'm working on now. I started to finish the sleeve, and then I wanted to make sure I had enough yarn and that my sleeves would end up the same length. So I thought, well, I'm going to finish the other side and front, and then I will work the sleeves together so I can make sure that I have enough. So this is the Garter modular blank or modular sweater. So, and it's coming along. I'm hoping to get this done in the next couple weeks because our weather is starting to turn cold, and that way I will be able to use it. Then, as if I didn't have enough things going on project-wise, I had this like brainstorm kind of idea. A couple weeks ago I had mentioned, what would you all think if I did a knitting series on basic knitting stitches? And enough of you gave me a thumbs up to it that I decided to go ahead and do that. So I have been working with that, but I thought, what kind of fun is it if we start and learn stitches without a project to like use them with? So I thought, well, let's come up with a small project that everybody could do if you wanted to. So I actually am in the process of designing a cowl that not cowl as in K-A-L like knit along, but a cowl like the type you wear around your neck. It's a one skein yarn or it's a project that all you will need is one skein of worsted weight. You can use any kind of fiber content you want, but it is worsted weight. You'll need at least 200 yards in order to do it. And I'm making mine out of a 100% merino superwash. It is a Malabrigo Rios, and the colorway is 227. It's called Vulcan. It's very fallish, as you can see. The light. Yeah, there you can see it really well. And that's pretty true to color. It's a little bit more vibrant than what it's showing up. It's looking a little dull in the coloring, but it's very kind of fiery red. I guess that's why they called it Vulcan. So here is the cowl so far. By the time this video is up, this will be done. So we have some garter, we have some stockinette, we have some eyelet yarn overs, we have some seed stitch, we have some cables. If you've never done cables before, these are some simple cables. And I'm a little over halfway done. So it's a project that if you are familiar with these stitches, you will be able to whip it out in about 2 days tops, maybe not even that long. So I'm actually going to be putting this pattern on Ravelry sometime this week. As soon as I'm writing it as I go, and when I finish this, I just have to put the photos in. So be watching. I will put a video up because there's a video for each of the different stitch sections of the cowl. And the very first lesson will tell you a little bit about it and the supplies you're going to need. The pattern is free. It's going to go up, like I said, when the video goes up, when I show the finished product, which will be hopefully sometime this week. If all goes well and I'm not technically challenged, it should go up in the next couple of days. And then once you see that, you'll know that it is released on Ravelry, and the name of the cowl is called the Basic Stitches Cowl. So, and when I put it up, I will tell you all this, and I will put a link to the Ravelry pattern itself. But it's free, so that way, if you don't need help doing the stitches, you can still make this if you would like to. So, yes, so there it is, the Basic Stitches Cowl, or at least part of it for right now. So, we have that going on. Then in the acquisitions this week, I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I won a project bag. I was watching Knitting by the Sea. It's Saratoga Knits, or Saratoga Knitting. Anyway, I won. You just had to leave a comment for this giveaway, and so I won. I was excited. I think there was like 2 or 3 prize winners, and I won one of them. So here is my project bag. Is this adorable or what? And it is a drawstring, and the drawstrings are gray, and the pictures on it are a little seaside village, which kind of fits it because Saratoga Knitting she lives in Marblehead, Massachusetts, which is a small little like a little island part of Massachusetts, kind of sticks out. It's near Salem. It's kind of northeast of Boston, if that helps you out any. But there it is. Is that cute? There's little boats in the harbor and stuff. And the inside of the bag has those same little boats. And it's funny, if you look really close on the little boats, some of them have names. There's a boat named Irene, and one named Lewis, and one named Brenda, and then there's another one which I couldn't read what it was. So yeah, that's let's see if I can do it really well. Maybe I can just turn it inside out, and that way you can see the inside really well. There we go. Little boats. And the maker of this bag, and it is really well made. It feels like it's almost like it has quilt batting in it or something, because it's very thick. It's very cushiony and squishy. So the maker of this bag is called Birdie and Poppet, and here is their card. And I'll put the information down on the bottom part of the screen here. They are actually, the maker is Gill Page, and she lives in Nottingham, United Kingdom. And this was really cute too. Look at the back of these. She gave me 2 stitch markers that are so pretty. They could be like earrings. They're done with crystals, crystal beads. Let's see if I can show them a little bit better. Maybe with... There you go. Aren't they pretty? Got little silver ends on them and little cone-shaped beads. So it's a really cute little card. So that was included with it. So again, that is Birdie and Poppet. And like I said, I'll put the information in the down bar down here. So I won that. So Gil, if you're watching, thank you. I'm enjoying the bag, and it's found a good home. So I just got to figure out which project I want to stick in it at this point, since I've got so many to choose from. So talking about stitch markers, the winner of my giveaway that I announced last week, her name is Nikki. I will put it down in here in writing in case I mispronounce it. It is Nikki Shayotovich. She has not responded at this point. I'm going to give her 1 more week, so if I don't hear anything by the next podcast on November 4th, I will redraw a winner. So I've saved all of your names, so if I don't hear anything from her, then I will, like I said, we'll redraw it. And Nikki, if you do get in touch with me, you can leave me a private message on YouTube, or you can leave me a message over on my Ravelry page, which is KatrinasCreations. So I will check both of those, and otherwise I will be drawing a new winner next week. So this podcast is kind of short today. So I thought I haven't done a What Am I Reading episode for a while, so I thought I would share something with you. I am reading Murder Wears Mittens by Sally Goldenbaum. I've read all the other books that are in this series. This is the Seaside Knitters Society Mysteries. And it's funny, the lady that I won the project bag from, who I said lives in Marblehead, Massachusetts, this book is based on kind of like the area of Marblehead, the Gloucester area of Massachusetts, right in there. And so, yeah, it's interesting because I like New England and knitting, so how can you go far with being wrong there? So it's good. I don't want to do like a spoiler alert and tell you what's going on. So but it's a group of women. They get together on Thursday nights for dinner and knitting at the local yarn shop, and they just happen to solve mysteries in the meantime. And the one lady in the story is named Nell, and her niece Izzy, actually short for Isabel, actually owns the yarn shop. And so she does a lot of cooking. And in the back of all of these, there's always some recipes. And there's usually, and there is in this one too, there's a pattern. So they always give you a, let's see what pattern, simple Skype socks. So there's actually a sock pattern in there. And usually there's a recipe in there too. I just haven't run across it yet. But it's a cute series, and I think this is maybe the 7th or 8th in the series. Let me see. See if it says in here the names of all the other books. No, it doesn't. But this is like this. I'm thinking this is around the 7th or 8th in the series. So it's a lot of fun. It's an easy read. I mean, I've been reading it at lunchtime at work, and I'm already like halfway through it, and I've only been reading it for a couple of days. So it's a quick read. It's fun, and you know, it's got knitting and a mystery in it, so you really can't go too far wrong. And yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. So I also my husband is right around the corner in the other room. I'm filming downstairs because it's late at night and I wanted to make sure I get this up for Saturday morning. So I warned him ahead of time that I was going to tell you a crazy story and he was welcome to join in if he would like to. He said no. But if you hear laughing coming from around the corner, that would be my husband because he remembers these two stories all too well. So I thought I would tell you, back when our kids were little, we had just moved into a townhouse. And these are both home decorating stories. I've gotten better at both of these things so far from what I was back then. But we had just bought this townhouse, and as you walked in the front door, there was a staircase that went up, and it went straight up to the second floor. So it was like it was like 2 floors high to get to the ceiling. So my husband would go to, he would leave home in the morning, and then he wouldn't come home at night for dinner because he was going to college at night, and it was too far for him to drive from his work to come home to eat dinner and then go all the way back down to college because it was almost an hour or so away. So he was gone, and I was home during the day with 2 little toddlers. I think they were maybe 4 and 5 at the time. So I've got this ladder. I'm painting this stairwell. I've got this ladder propped against, like the stairs went up like this. The ladder was propped into the stairs and leaning against the wall. It was relatively stable, but I wasn't. And I was up on top of it with an extension rod and a paintbrush taped to the end of it, trying to do the edges of where the ceiling and the walls meet so I could use the roller on them. And in the middle of me doing all this, the dog and the 2 kids were running up and down the stairs in between and underneath the ladder. And finally I said, I don't care what you do, just stay out of my hair. Bad thing for parents to say to children. Really, really bad. They didn't get into any trouble or anything like that, but we go to church that Sunday. Thankfully, my sister-in-law was their teacher because she asked the children, what do you do to help your mommy? And my daughter blurts out, I help mommy by staying out of her hair. Yeah, and my sister-in-law came to me afterwards and was like, really? And I was like, oh. Yes, so glad that it was my sister-in-law that she said that to. Otherwise, child services probably would have been knocking at my door. So around the same time, I decided it was time to wallpaper. I mean, this was the 80s. People wallpapered back then. I decided we were going to wallpaper the bathroom. Well, I was going to wallpaper the bathroom upstairs. So again, things always happened when my husband was gone at night. It was like he would come home and it would be a whole new house. And he was at college, and I decided, wallpapering can't be too hard. And it's a new house, so surely the walls are straight. I didn't think about measuring anything. I knew that I needed to start in like a corner and started from there. And I had this striped wallpaper. You know where this story's going, yeah. It looked pretty good until you got right behind the tub, and then it kind of started to tilt a little bit. Just a little, but just enough. So my husband comes home, and it's like 11 o'clock at night. So he goes in to go take the shower, and I'm sitting outside the bathroom door just waiting to hear how wonderful he just dropped a bunch of stuff. Anyway. There's more stuff going down. See, it runs in the family. We both drop things all over the place. But anyway, I'm waiting outside the bathroom door, waiting to hear how wonderful he thinks the wallpaper looks, how lovely it is. And he comes out and I said, so what do you think? And he goes, it made me seasick. He's like, I feel like I have to stand at a tilt when I'm taking a shower. And yeah, I've gotten better. I know that you have to use a level now. I did. My husband saying, tell him it was striped wallpaper. Yeah, it was striped wall. I mean, who knew? I thought a house that was brand new had straight walls. How wrong could I be? There also was apparently not studs in some of the walls too, because one of my other decorating things, anytime my husband went to work, it was like, he never knew what he was coming home to. It was like, oh, free reign. I can do whatever. He's not there to tell me no. I decided a chair rail in my son's bedroom would look really nice. So I painted it bright red because his room was kind of red, white, and blue. And The only problem was it wasn't really chair rail. It was molding that you put on the floor, like where case molding. He tells me it's case molding. You know, the wide 4-inch stuff that goes like at your baseboard. It was baseboards, yeah. I nailed it where I figured there should have been, you know, studs in the walls. I didn't test. I just kind of hammered it in. Only problem was as soon as we shut the door, all of them fell off. We shut the door and heard boom, 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 and looked, and all the chair rail was laying on the floor. So he doesn't let me help with projects very often anymore. I also had a time I had to help him with, we were finishing our basement at our other house, and he handed me a hammer. Big mistake. Handed me a hammer and told me to go around and tap in some of the nails that were sticking out a little bit on the drywall. I tapped a little too hard, put a hole in the wall. He had to go back and like refix the drywall because there was a hole about like that. Apparently I'm hammer challenged with that too, because I kind of missed the nail, not once, but a few times. So I have gotten better, and things that involve like power tools. Although, no, I do like power tools, don't I, honey? What's that thing I like? The sawzall, the reciprocating saw. I felt like Rambo woman. That was at our other house. We decided to take a wall out between our kitchen and dining room, and he came home and I talked to him on the phone and said, I think I can operate this thing. Can I run it? And he was like, sure, go for it. If I was destroying things, like what could I hurt? It was coming out anyway. So he came home and I was ripping studs out of the walls. But that was fun. I didn't do anything bad. He just said, don't hit the electric line. Whatever you do, that wire that's hanging down, don't hit that. So I didn't. I did good with that. So I have gotten better, and I haven't done anything like bad at the house we're in now. But I've had like constant supervision. So anyway, that's my home decorating stories for this week. So that's going to be it for this episode. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit short, but watch for a video later this week that's going to be showing this cowl. And as soon as you see that, you can go over to Ravelry and get the free pattern. Whether you want to do the knitting lessons or not, the free pattern's open for anybody, and it is called the Basic Stitches Cowl. And I will, like I said, I will put a link below in that video to get you over to where that pattern is. So that's it for this week, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again next Saturday. Talk to you later, guys.